Hello, I'm Foibles and welcome to another episode of Pillars of Eternity. And I just loaded the game in. Let's just load the game up. We have two party members now, us and a elf guy who we saved from some drunkards and whatnot. And this is the bar. This is the inn. There's lots of people. I guess these are soul guys or something. I guess we'll check them up. Yep, they are soul people. If you want to read this nonsense, then by all means. I have no idea. It's just too much. Just too much text to be reading out loud. If you want to read it, then by all means, I leave that up to you. I mean, it's kind of interesting to read all this lore, but I have to speak a lot anyway in this video, so reading all that out loud would just be tedious. Truly tedious. So I'm not going to do that. Step back. Alright then. And then there is a drunkard, some villagers, Orland. There is some Sweener. I think that's the person we were supposed to go to talk with. Don't know who you are, and don't much care. Keep walking. We are not here to chat with foreigners. Careful. Looks like they're cut from the same cloth as those rowdies who attacked me. Smells like it too. Thumble says you've been I saw you outside the mill. What's that about? Well, some fancies themselves a meddler, eh? What's that about? It's about Trumbull thinking he's king of the town, and on account of he's got the mill to his name. It's about him barely giving us anything for the wheat we bring him, and then cutting our purses when we need to buy grain. It's about farmers going hungry while some bastards get rich of their crops. That's what it's fucking about. Now show off. Ooh, he has a nasty temper. Well, if I buy you all around, will you talk to me then? Fair enough. You bring us something to wet our throats, and might be I'll feel up to trading words. That's alright. That's very comfy.
Good day to you.
Just buy some beer and I'd like to buy around for the fine fellows over there. Let's do that. Fine fellows, you're having me on. Any more fighting and I'll have to ban Sweener from the inn entirely. Until then, it's 6 copper pieces for the lot. Here you are. And let's go talk with them again, if that helps out a bit. Usually people talk more when you... I've poured the drinks. Hey, so you have, by the flame, I never thought I'd be so happy for a mug of the Blackhound shit beer. God, that's good. Alright then, you have my attention. What is it you've got to say that's worth a round of drinks? Well, what's going on? Well, maybe you could tell me more about what's going on. It's like I said, the miller's in charge of the grain prices. He says they're fair, but I know for a fact that for folks like Alfra pay half what we do. And maybe we've been a bit rough with him. But what are we supposed to do? We can't keep paying. We are going to starve, and do you think Trumble's going to be sorry about it when we do? Maybe I could talk to Trumbull for you. Ha! You think you'll get through to him when we haven't. The man's thick as peat bog. I hear he got his soul read. found his kin used to grow sunreed trees for their Adrian lords, up until they figured out their sight was losing, explains why his knees still ache to bend to whatever lord or lady crosses the road. He'll be holed up in that mill for days, the coward. But here, if we want to give him a shot, then good luck. We'll owe you one if you manage it.
Good day to you.
Interesting. Maybe we will go talk with him again before we say nasty things to the dwarf. I think he's pretty fired up and that could be bad. So, what is here? There's villagers and there's Pasca. Is there anyone over here? In the kitchen? I guess not. No? Alright then. Oh, there is something to interact with. Spoons and alright, some shite. Nobody cares about that. Some kind of prawn sips in congealing in the dishes and blah 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 blah.
You.
And it's never to hello again. Let's take a room then. Of course, we keep them nice and tidy. Let's. Oh God, that's like really expensive. I guess we'll rest in the common room then. Ooh, interesting. What happens now? I guess there's some kind of a cutscene kind of thing. Your sleep is restless and fevered, assaulted by hisses and whispers, blanketed with a suffocating anxiety. You open your eyes to awaken and find yourself in front of the Gilded Whale's gallow tree, the creaking of its ropes growing louder in your mind until the sound is deafening. Hanging from the tree is an old dwarf woman whose face has shriveled inward like mouldering fruit. Her head hangs limply to one side. As you look at her, she looms larger and larger in your mind until she is mere inches from your face. Suddenly her head snaps up and her eyes open, and they are empty, and behind them is vast nothingness that makes your stomach drop. Her mouth slowly parts, and with a gust of rancid air she speaks a word. Watcher. You jolt awake, the foul smell of the dwarf woman's breath still permeating your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face in thick droplets, and your skin is soaked from head to toe. You remember the woman. You remember seeing her decaying face when you spoke with the magistrate. He called her an animancer. Though it fills you with a new, queasy apprehension, you feel a strange compulsion to this woman once more, if only to confirm she is truly dead. Haha! Interesting. Now we can go and take a look at the tree properly. But before that, let's go visit upstairs and see if there is anyone there. Anyone interesting, because we need some muscle to our party. And we only have 2 mages and that's never good. Interesting, there's some people here. Let's talk with them. These are the soul stuff again. If you want to read, go ahead. Pause or something. I don't really know if there is any real point to reading all this. But I'm not going to read it much. I will read it quickly and that's that. But I'm not going to read it out loud. I'm not even going to say it in the... Well, I will say it in the future that I want, but it's just too much text. Yes, and this one's a long one, it would seem. A really long one. Because I would like to get something done in these episodes as well and not just read dialogue that maybe doesn't really have any real what? Ooh. Grab a drink, friend, not much else of worth in this town, says the woman from Thane. Hey, we said we wouldn't mention Thane. Alright then. Alrighty then. There's something over there. I wonder... Ingest. Okay, you don't have anything to speak. What's this? A black hound. The bones are covered in tiny bite marks. This hound stares intently at the covered pillow, head cocked as if waiting to hear a particular sound. It looks up when you approach and whines along a low note, tail waggling slightly. Pet the dog. The dog's tail thumps happily against the floorboards. Ooh, that's cute. That's cute. Cute. Dogs are awesome. Ooh, and then we can go out. Alright then, I suppose we will go out then. That's that place. I guess we'll go search for the dwarf woman in the tree now. It said she would be. She is over there. Over there she is. Haha. Galdara de Beranzi, the squat distended body of an elderly dwarf woman dangles from a thin crooked path that sags at the top of her nose. The bloated purple flesh of her neck, worn away in patches like moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her, and her lifeless head lolls forward rigidly from one side to the other when the breeze shifts. You perceive a faint glow around her that casts no light on its surroundings, but there is tepid warmth to it, and you feel somehow that you could reach out and touch it. Not with your hand, but with some aspect of yourself that has no worldly dimension. I guess we'll reach out for the woman. You take a deep breath, clearing out your mind, focusing on the objective. As you exhale, you feel yourself spreading out toward the hanging woman, perceiving all that lies between you and her with new, unfamiliar awareness. Once you have expanded enough to reach her, there is a sudden jolt to your mind, a ringing electric surge of images and words and sounds. Involuntarily, you shut your eyes and feel yourself being pulled down to some deeper consciousness in a space occupied only by you and the hanging woman, and when you open them again, she is staring at you with eyes clouded in milky fog, her body still swaying in a wind you no longer feel from a tree that stands planted in a misty void. The woman gives you a slow nod of her head, the rope creaking as she does so, and she smiles at you. Have you come here?
Have you come here for me, dear? Or have you gotten lost? Ah, it is both, I think. Yes?
Well, that's interesting. Am I imagining this?
No, I think not. A pity that. It would be simpler. A mercy even. To not have to wander anymore, no? Alas, we are here, you and I, wherever here may be.
How are you able to speak to me?
Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it. I think it is a very good choice.
I need to understand something that's happened to me.
The world looks a little different than it used to, is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there. You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
Interesting, and what the hell is a watcher?
What indeed? Long hours have many animancers spent studying such things. Not I, though. Not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair, and here we are visiting, you and I, and it reminds me of better times. Souls pass on, some say through Audra stones, which are the blood veins of the world. They leave the world for a time and are reborn into it, sometimes more than they were before, but usually less and seldom the same. For all souls there is a time where they do not live, yet have not passed on, and those souls roam the world, same as you or I, either leaving or lost. But no one sees them because they have forgotten how.
Ooh, interesting.
A watcher sees, though, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them, know where they've been in ages past when their bodies were other bodies. See memories even their honor can't recall. A wonder to behold when all goes well, a wonder.
Huh. And what did you mean when all goes well?
Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties. You should see old Merwald. He could tell you much more than I. A watcher just like you. Helped many in his day. Took up in an old keep no one would claim. Not far, not far. Kadnua. Beyond the Black Meadow. He will welcome the company.
Huh. Alright then. I think I survived a Piowak. Do you know what that would be?
Did you now, dear? My, that would be something, wouldn't it? Could be luck, could certainly be. A storm can be a careless thing. Or maybe it got its hands around your soul but couldn't pick it up. A soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece through its time. Strong souls, we call them in the trade. Cold, I mean. Called them. Those days are all behind me, no?
Yes, indeed. You said souls break apart over time.
Oh, yes. Entropy. Rimagan's work. We know little of why or how. We lose pieces of ourselves when we die and pick up pieces of others when we are born again, but less than what we lost. We tried to stop it with the animantic sciences, but with little success. No. A very small few resist Rimergan's influence and stay together through some force of defiance, at least for a time. But they all succumb eventually, I think.
And I guess that's why we have hollow-born babies and such. Interesting. I want to know something about you.
Me?
Who?
I'll bore you to tears, though.
Who the hell are you?
And here I thought you'd come to visit me in particular. Caldara de Baranzi, of the Valian Royal Academy of Animantic Sciences. Not the greatest of their number, but I came here all the same because this was where help was needed.
What happened to you?
Oh, come now, such a question, as though the answer weren't plain as a rope tied for strangling. Allow an old dwarf her last bit of cheer. Well, I came where I was needed, didn't I? Offered my services to Lord Radric for a pittance, a humble pittance. I was to examine the Lord's wife, see why the gods have seen fit to poison her womb. Studied her for months, looked high and low for impurities, tested her valence, the permeability of her essence. Do you know what I found? Nothing at all. A healthy woman, head to toe, blessed with a beautiful soul. Such a sweet woman, too. Meek, but warm-hearted. A few months' time, and the lord of the house demanded answers. For a time, I told him what he wanted to hear. Oh, yes, my lord, she is riddled with imbalances. I must have time to cure her. As the birth drew near, he grew impatient, as lords do. And this is where I've ended up.
Interesting. What's an animancer?
A student of the soul. Something so basic, yet so poorly understood. But so many breakthroughs have been made in my lifetime. Had been. To hear the locals tell it, we're a gang of soul manglers that preys upon the weak-minded. And the worst of us are. But the best of us? The best? Inspirations, miracle workers. My parents were soul twins, miserable before they met, empty inside. It was an animancer who helped one find the other, turned their lives around. You wouldn't believe the stories. Amnesiacs helped to remember their lives. The suicidal brought back from the brink of oblivion. The elderly afforded extra moments to say their goodbyes. How soon we forget when we're afraid. It's a fascinating science. A fascinating time to be alive in a place like Deerwood that does not control the research, no? I love the Valian Republics for many things, but their recent caution will leave them behind, I fear.
I had other questions. And
Of course, dear.
there's nothing else to guess. There's nothing else to ask from her, so I guess we'll say farewell.
Goodbye, my dear. It was lovely visiting.
Aloth says, "Are you alright? You seemed lost just now." I'm a watcher. Well, that is interesting. And I expected that explains how you survived the bivouac. In any case, I appreciate your honesty. Since we are traveling together, it's probably wise for us to share these things. Do you know anything about watchers? Only that they're rare and they seem to have unique insights into certain soul conditions, as you just demonstrated. Let's continue on.
Yes, of course.
17 and a half.
He looks at you, but the look is not aggressive.
17 and a half. Well, could be 18, depending on how you count the dwarf woman.
I'm sorry?
The dwarf woman. You were trying to figure out whether to count her as a full person. I think you oughta.
What are you
The
talking
people hanging
about?
from the tree. 18 of them. Well, last I counted, anyway. Name's Adair. Though to the people around here, might as well be 19. Don't think I'd put you much higher than 22, 23 tops. You look like the sort that likes to get involved.
What makes you think I was interested in the dwarf woman?
I was smoking over here, saw you staring at her. Twice I refilled my pipe. You never so much as blinked. Your mouth was so slack I took you for a Radric at first.
Do you know what a watcher is?
Careful, friend. Best not use that word round here. Could be any number of Radric bootlickers within earshot. Ciphers, animancers, watchers. Same thing in the eyes of folks around here, Radric especially. They come through these parts all the time with their cures, preying on the desperate. None of them are who they claim to be. Of course, seeing you with that funny look, I'd be halfway inclined to believe you were having some kind of communion with that dwarf. Either case, maybe I'm not 19 after all. No offense.
Haha. You think you are going to be
Town's
hanged?
had it in for me for a long time now. Only fella who ever stuck up for me, well, he's number 18 up there. My headman on the farm. Used to be my captain during the war.
The war. Saints War, only one in my lifetime. Fella decides to do the living incarnation of Eothas, overthrows Richtziras, marches on Drywood, Deerwood, so we gave him a Deerwoodian hello. Who is Eothas? God of rebirth and redemption, formerly anyway. Maybe they call him something different from where you are from. What's a Deerwoodian hello?
Boom up.
Ooh, I see. I got time. Why was your headman hanged? Got involved. Redrick sent men down here the other day, said they had it on a good authority someone in town was working with Gostalk, plotting Redrick's overthrow. Said if he didn't come forward right then and there, they'd hang every last one of us. No one was coming forward, so Swithin, that's my headman, he steps up and say it's him. They took him at his word. Bound to happen sooner or later, if not for plotting against Redrick, then for protecting me. Who's Kolsk? Someone who got tired of all the hangings. He's on the run now, probably will be till they catch him. What does your town have against
the wrong
you?
god. That's what it comes down to. Used to be a lot of Aethys worshippers in Gilded Vale. That mess of rocks over there, that was a temple to him, to give you some idea. Then one day, somebody named Widewind shows up on Deerwood's doorstep. Says he's the living flesh of Aethys. Got an army with him. Suddenly, Aethys isn't so popular in these parts.
Huh.
My brother Woden and me, neither of us believed it. No way was that Aethys. He enlisted, then I did too. But, he didn't make it back. After the war, people took to punishing Aethys worshippers, accusing them of treason. Got real ugly, especially after the Legacy started. Folks needed someone to blame. I was safe because I fought, but then this rumor starts that my brother, that he was on the wrong side. And I wasn't so safe anymore. Until my headman stepped in and said they'd have to hang him to get to me. Seems that's no longer a concern. Of course, the townies don't do the hanging these days, but when Raedrick's men come, they got no problem doing the pointing.
Huh. And Aleth have something to say. You can see why I was eager to leave. If you're next to be hanged, what are you still doing here? Drinking, mostly. That's a good reason to stay, I suppose. I would be drinking too. Sad fact, I don't have even a hangover today, so... What? Hey, that's personal, No, let's not go there. Point of fact, I'm on my way out, just haven't figured out where I'm going yet. There's a whole lot of places out there that don't think Waidwen's legacy started with Waidwen. We could travel together. Where are you headed? Some place called Seid Nua. There's an old watcher there who might be able to help me.
I seem to remember hearing something about that years ago. He tamed that place. People would seek him out for all kinds of things. Troubles of the soul, questions for the departed. Of course, that was back when you didn't have to say watcher with a hush on your breath. A man such as that, there'd be things I'd want to ask him. Don't know why I never thought of it before. Not sure how I feel about setting out with a stranger, and a strange one at that. But, truth be told, you might be the only one in town who wouldn't feel some relief seeing me swing from that tree.
There's a fine reason if I ever heard one.
All right, then. Guess I'll do some sightseeing. Long as you're not the one picking the sights.
Aha, haha, I like this guy. Let's get going. And so we have...
Hope you're not expecting much. Hey, of course.
And like so, we have a warrior type of character, I think. He's a... What is he? What are you? Character. You are a level 2 fighter. Awesome. Just what we needed is some muscle. We are 2 wizards in the back row, and then we just need a cleric or druid or something like that. And
Hey,
probably
alright
some kind
then.
of a ranged guy. And that could be fine. That could be very, very fine. Oh yeah, we had some quests to do over here. We were supposed to go talk with Miller, and before we do that though, we'll just where the hell is that place again? Over there. Right, I knew that. No, here. Run. Let's put it on super speed. Thank you. And we'll do that in the next episode because I have to go and take a break now. Thank you for watching. If you liked the episode, then please do click the like button and subscribe. It would really help out quite a lot with my new channel, and I would really personally appreciate it a lot. Have a nice day. I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye.